Welcome to Radical Academy, and my name is Mike Wada. And in this video, we are going to be learning about quadratic equations. Okay, so this is an introductory part of a quadratic equation. So we'll be moving step by step. So our first part will tackle only the method of factorization, factorizing a quadratic equation. Okay, so if you're new to my channel, if you're watching from YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe, smash the subscription button, as well as like the video so that we can actually, be able to upload more videos. Because when you like our video, it shows that you are interested to see more of the similar videos and content. Okay, so if you don't want to miss any kind of an update, please don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you're watching from Facebook, remember, follow, click on the follow button, and also like the page so that if we either post from Facebook or even on YouTube, you'll be the first person to be able to see our videos, and you'll never be left out. Okay, so now without much further ado, let's now jump into it. Okay, so now what is a quadratic equation? So as you are in grade 11, okay, or just in grade 12 right now, okay, if you don't understand anything, if you you were taught quadratic equation, please don't worry. You are going to get all the key concepts that you need to understand for you to solve and be able to use any kind of the method that falls under a quadratic equation. So please just stick around and watch the video from the beginning up to the end, and I can assure you, you'll be able to gain some of the fundamentals and the key concept about what a quadratic equation is all about, and what are some of the methods that are there and can be used in order to solve any kind of a quadratic equation. Now, to introduce what a quadratic equation is, that a quadratic equation is an equation in X. Okay, it is an equation in X that can be written in the standard form. Okay, so the key thing is we need to be able to understand what is this. The standard form of a quadratic equation. Okay, so now the quadratic equation, the standard form states that we have what it says that a squared, okay, plus ax squared plus b squared plus c equals to 0. Okay, so once we know that this is a standard form of any kind of a quadratic equation, and obviously that will be able to give you the starting point of how you can be able to solve any kind of a quadratic equation. Okay, so now let's see what is the meaning of these numbers. Okay, I mean the algebraic letters such as a, b, as well as c. Okay, now let us see what they mean in the actual sense. So we are saying that note that this a and b, c, as well as a, b, c, these are just the coefficients. Okay, so these are the coefficients in a given equation, or rather in the standard form. Okay, so if you are given a quadratic equation, the key thing is always to identify what is your a, what is your b, as well as what is your c. Now once you identify all those the coefficient, which is a, b, and c, which in the actual equation that you might find, you'll be able to you'll be given an equation, so be able to find what is your a, be able to find what is your b, also be able to find what is your c, and you are good to go. Okay, so remember, there are about 4 or rather 3, okay, or rather 3 types of method that we can apply or that we can use in order to solve a quadratic equation. And for this video, or rather in this video, we'll just look at one of the first method that we can use in order to apply, or rather in order to solve a quadratic equation. So just stick around and watch how you can apply the method of factorization. Okay, so stick around. Okay, so the a, b, c, they just represent that they can be anything. Okay, normal real numbers. Okay, those are just real numbers. Now, the emphasis that on this case, okay, on this case, a should not be equal to 0, okay, because once your a is equal to 0, then we are not solving a quadratic equation. Okay, that will now take us into, you know, just an equation one variable. Okay, so ensure that your a is not equal to 0, and that is what the standard form says. Okay, so now let us look at some of the examples. Okay. Okay, so this is an example, or you can just say the example is okay, so now let us try to solve some of the examples under the method of factorization. So before we try to solve these examples that I've given on the board, we first of all need to understand what is the meaning of factorization. The word factorization comes from the word factors. Okay, once we understand the meaning of the word factors, is that we are looking for the numbers, or maybe two numbers, okay, that as a result of something. Okay, let's say for instance, if I talk about 15, okay, now what are some of the numbers, okay, that we can be able to divide into 15, and of course at the end of the day, maybe when we multiply them together, they are going to give me back the same number 15. Okay, so that's the scenario or the metaphor what we mean by factorization, or rather factors. Okay, so now let's jump into the actual examples that I've given on the board. Okay, so check this out. Okay, so now we are saying that solve each quadratic equation by factorization method. Okay, now the first one is saying x squared plus 2x minus 15 equals to 0. And remember, we are dealing with an equation, so every equation must have an equal sign. Every equation must have, you know, something, you know, the left hand side as well as the right hand side. Okay, so ensure that when you're solving an equation, we are just trying to come up with a value that will turn that particular equation that you're given into a true statement. Okay, that's what you're just doing and nothing else. Okay, so please make sure you understand that. Okay, now the second one is saying 2x squared minus 5x equals to 12. Okay, so we'll start with the first example. Okay, okay. So now, the first example which you have written just up there is saying that x squared plus 2x minus 15 equals 0. Okay, now, the first key in understanding factorization method is to do the following. Okay. Okay, so now we are saying that when you are solving a quadratic equation using factorization method, we have to understand you find the products, you find the sum, as well, and finally you also find the factors. Okay. Now, how do we find the product? Okay. So remember, the standard form of the quadratic equation is that it is ax squared, okay, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, okay, or x squared plus 2x minus 15 equals to 0. And then the standard form is ax. Okay, so now when you look at what I've said is that the standard form of the quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c. Now these a, b, c, and a, they just represent numbers, okay? So when you look at in the actual given equation, this number, which is just alone, okay, it is called the constant, okay? It is called the constant, and this number, our constant there is negative 15. So it's just a matter of comparing. You get the standard equation, okay? And then you start comparing with what you have been given in the actual equation that we are trying to solve, okay? So now, this b is the one in this just x, okay? Now, this x is not raised to any power, okay? So, our b equals to 2. And then, this x which is raised to the power 2, there is no number in front there. So in the actual sense, if there is no number there, then there is just 1. Okay. So our a is 1. Okay. So our a is 1. Now, once we do that now, we have to find the product. Okay. So the product is given by a times c. So your a is 1, your c is negative 15. So this means that 1 multiplied by negative 15, you get. So 1 multiplied by negative 15, you get negative 15. So what this means is that these are not the only factors that I can multiply together so that I can get negative 15. So we have to think of other numbers that we can use in order to get negative 15. Okay, so 1 multiplied by 15, you get 15. But what you're looking for is the number, two numbers that you can multiply together, and also we get negative 15. So apart from 1 and negative 15, we have also 5 multiplied by 3, we get positive 15. But remember, our answer should be negative 15, okay? So this can also be 3 multiplied by 5 equals to 15. So we can put this negative 3 to be a negative number, and then you get that. And then or 3 multiplied by negative 15. 3 multiplied by negative 5, you get negative 15. Okay. Okay, so now when you look at these numbers, okay, when you look at these numbers that we have, what this means is that we are just trying to reverse the sign, okay, but this 3 multiplied by negative 5 or negative 3 multiplied by 5 is just the same, one and the same thing, it's just a matter of changing the sign, okay. Now if that is understood, now we are going to the concept of saying what is the sum, okay. Now the sum is normally equal to BC in the standard form, okay, or the sum is equal to B. So in the standard form, we have got this one, okay. Now the coefficient of x, which is just B, then we get that number to be our sum, okay. So sum will be equal to, in the actual, this one. So our sum is going to be that one. Okay, so that is our sum. And then also, what else now? Now you get the factors. So now remember always that the factors will not come from anywhere, okay? The factors will not come from anywhere, but where the factors will come from the products, okay? The products, that's where you get the factors, because those are the numbers that we can add now, okay? So that we can get back to, okay? So if you say 1 plus open bracket negative 15, if you say 1 plus open bracket negative 15, we are not going to get this one, okay, which is this one, okay. So this is not going to work. Now what if we say this one plus this whole negative 3 plus 5. Now negative 3 plus 5, what do you get? Now this is, we can also write this one as 5 minus 3, which will get 2. Okay, so meaning our factors now, therefore our factors are 5 and negative. Okay, so our factors are 5 and negative 3. So that's what you're supposed to understand. So now we are going to get these 5 and negative 5, 5 and negative 3, and then put them, remove this one and pick this one, put it there, and then also pick this one and put it there. And then once you have done that, okay, once you just do that, then the factorization method is just now over, okay? You have gotten the key concept. All you need is just to practice now with some other different kind of equations. Okay. So now we are going to say x. So you are going to get this one, remove it, and then pick this one. So I'm going to say plus 5 is positive. Okay, so remember, you also have to be very careful about the signs. 5 is positive, so I'm going to say 5x. Okay, and then the 3 is negative, so you say minus 3x. And then this one, you just negative 15, just drop it down. Negative 15 equals to 0. Okay, and then from there you say so we are going to group the terms now. Okay, so x squared okay. Okay, so now once you reach at that stage, what you're supposed to do is now factorize. Look for the common factors now. Okay, so what is common? X is 5x and then x squared. So x and x is appearing, so you say x open bracket, and then you say now x into x squared, you just say x. Because this x times x, you get back x squared, plus 5x into 5x, which is just 5x over x. Okay, so this is just x there, x there. So you just remain with it 5. Okay, so make sure you do understand what is going on. So what we are saying just that x into 5x, or we are just dividing, okay? We are just dividing. And when you remove the x, you just remain with 5, okay? That's what you're just simply doing. Okay. So, x into 5x, you have 5. And then you also come to the other part of the 10. So, you can see that the negative there, as well as the other negative, they are common. And then this side there is x, that side with 15 doesn't have x. So meaning x is not common, okay? Now what is common is the number that can go in both 3 and 15, which is 3 itself as a factor. Okay, so I'm going to say negative 3 outside, because it is common. Negative 3 can be divided into 3, and then the same negative 3 can go into negative 15. So our negative 3 has been identified to be the common on both terms, okay? So open the bracket. So negative 3 into negative 3x. So what you're just doing is it? Okay. So it's just we are just applying the law of division, okay? So 3 into negative 3 into negative 3, so so we just remain with the x. Okay, so this is that. And then now negative 3 into negative 15. So again, you're just dividing negative 15 over negative 3. So the negative cancels. And then how many times can 3 go into 15? Just 5 times. Okay. So this is going to be plus 5. Okay. And then equals to 0. So now you can see that what remains in the bracket now is the same. Okay. And that is where you should be very careful. If what is in the bracket is now different, then we have a problem, okay? So make sure that you understand that point. Okay, so now we are going to get what is outside and then what is also outside. So this is going to be x, this is negative, minus 3. And then since this one and this one, they're just the same. So what you're supposed to do is just pick one, okay? Okay. So now, finally now, we have to find the value of x, okay? By